Today, I'm going to analyze the chord progression, songwriting devices, and production of the classic Beach Boys ballad, In My Room. In My Room may not be one of Brian Wilson's more complex compositions. After all, it has no key changes, no alternate bass notes, and has fairly simple instrumentation, song form, and production. But it needn't be complex because it is absolutely perfect in its simplicity with the gorgeous vocal harmonies and the uncanny level of innocence it exudes. Please take a moment to help me grow this online community by hitting subscribe below, ringing the notification bell so you know when I release new videos, hitting the like button, and leaving comments. You help me tremendously in my efforts to reach more people with this channel. Pay a visit to my YouTube homepage and hit the playlist tab to see the various categories that I offer, instruction in music theory, production, and songwriting, all the way to my various original music projects. It is all clearly laid out on the playlist page. You can also sign up for my email list on the front page of my website, timsmolens.com. The music for In My Room was written by Brian Wilson and the lyrics by Gary Usher for the 1963 Beach Boys album Surfer Girl. It stands as one of the best Beach Boys ballads among a great number of contenders. It is a bit more of a serious topic, especially for the era it was written in, compared to the cars, surfing, and chasing little surfer girls that they were writing about at the time. Lyricist Gary Usher said, Brian was always saying that his room was his world. Brian said, I had a room, and I thought of it as my kingdom, and I wrote that song very definitely, that you're not afraid when you're in your room. It's absolutely true. Perhaps his room provided Brian a respite, a safe harbor from the mental and physical abuse of his domineering father, Murray. The instrumentation is sparse, but complements the song just perfectly. The backing track is relatively indistinct and contains 2 guitars, electric bass, organ, drums, harp, triangle, woodblock, and 4-part vocals, of which the lead vocal is the top part. The song is in B major, which is one of my favorite keys and not one of the more popular keys, but it has a nice relaxed timbre compared to the more frequently used C major. Like I said, this song does not have any wild key changes or alternate bass note chord inversions. It does have one interesting non-diatonic chord progression. By non-diatonic, I mean to say that it is not a chord you can build from the major scale, in this case B major. This song is in B, but it frequently goes to the flat 7 major chord, which would be A major. Although the chords do not play it, the vocal harmonies clearly mark it as an A major 7 chord. I've spoken in many previous videos about the flat 7 note of any major key, even though it is not part of the major scale, in this case B major. For some reason, it has a special connection to that key. It can be a straight major chord, so if we're in B, it could be a straight major chord like A. It could be a dominant 7 chord like A7. It can be a major 7 chord, as the background vocals in this song imply, A major 7. It can even be a minor chord I've seen before, a little more rare. That's more like a klezmer type of chord progression. Let me give you some examples in pop music of how frequently this flat 7 chord is used, even though it is not technically in the key. Because this is not one of Brian's more complex songs, I really want to drive home the importance of this flat 7 chord to add color to your writing. Breaking out of the diatonic chord progressions of a key is a great way to add variety to your songs. In most cases, it is not considered a key change, but rather just a passing non-diatonic chord. Let me give some examples here. How about the Beatles' In My Life? There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed forever, not for better. Some have come and some remain. These places have their moments. Here it comes. Of lovers and friends, I, back to 1, still can recall. It's so great. Of lovers and friends, he's implying a dominant 7 note, even though the chords aren't playing it. Of lovers and friends, I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. My life, I love you more. Just that flat 7 major chord adds such a nice way to get back to 1. You have all the 80s songs that use the flat 7. How about like Rio, you know? It goes 1, 5, and then flat 7, 4. The name is Rio and she dances on the sand. So that D major there is the flat 7. You know, there's a million songs that use that progression. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Please take to the river like you used to. The Beach Boys song Keep an Eye on Summer goes 1, it's an F sharp, goes 1, 6, then goes to 4 minor to flat 7 dominant and back to 1. Keep an eye on summer. See how it's even a 2-5 in A, but it doesn't really change keys. It's just using that B minor like a 4 minor in F sharp and then a flat 7 dominant in F sharp. But it's a really nice variation on a classic 1-6-2-5. Instead of 1-6-2-5, you got 1, 6, 4 minor, flat 7. Brilliant. So, how about Going Out of My Head by Little Anthony and the Imperials originally? I actually played baseball with his kids when I was growing up. So this is an interesting one. We're in D, but the very first chord, it keeps the bass note of D with the key you're on, but the chord is C. So that's the flat 7 right there. So it goes C over D, so that's flat 7 to 1, which is D major 7. Very cool chord. Well, I think I'm going out of my head over you. 4, then turns that minor and changes keys just like they do in jazz. Over you. Goes to F. What about, I know there's a few more here. Benny and the Jets. That's in G major 7. Flat 7. And the song is clearly in G major because it gives. But just the flat 7, but it's a major 7 that time. What about Beatles with a little help from my friends? Stand up and walk out on me. Lend me your ears and I sing you a song. I try not to sing out of key. Oh, I get by. Flat 7, 4, 1. Flat 7, 4, 1. Even Sweet Home Alabama. It's 1, flat 7, 4. Although there's some controversy that says all of those chords are in G major, so it'd be like 5, 4, 1. But it's this. You can look. This is a big thing in rock. People have debated about this, but it's really played like it's in D. So I would call that 1, flat 7, 4. Last one I'll do is it was Journey, Open Arms. That's right. Oh, now I'll sing to you. 1, 3. Open arms. 4. Now the flat 7. Your love means to me. They add a little 2 in there, but it just adds some color. But it resolves back up to 1. The flat 7 wants to pull back up to 1, even though it is not in the key. If you learn nothing else from this video and this song, that's what I want you to know. All right, without much more delay, I'm going to analyze the chords and song form of In My Room. Some of you have seen my chord analysis charts before, and this is really one of the simpler ones because it's only got one key. So it's the Sunshine is a new key, and there's only one key in the song, so that's easy. The little boxes here are the name of the section we're in. We've got time signatures, title, page number, some repeats. Then the Roman numerals say which function each chord has of the current key that we happen to be in. So this is the 5 dominant of B. This is the 1 of B. Uppercase Roman numerals are major chords, lowercase are minor chords. Things like 7 are dominant, and if there's a flat before it, that usually indicates non-diatonic, like that flat 7 like we talked about. So this is about as straightforward as it gets for the song analysis that I do, especially from the Beach Boys. Song, interestingly enough, starts off with a 1-6-2-5, and even though that is the most standard doo-wop progression you could get, the interesting thing about it is there's no more, the song doesn't really do 1-6-2-5 anywhere else. There's a couple 1-6-2, but then it doesn't go straight to 5. So if the song is based on 1-6-2-5, this would not be anything really out of the ordinary. But the fact that there's no 1-6-2-5s in the rest of the song, I think is just slightly interesting. So I would keep that in your back pocket for, an intro. But also, it's in 12/8, but they add an extra bar too. So it's little harp ascending arpeggio right there. But you could call that a fermata instead of adding an extra bar, but it's right in time, so I called it an extra bar. So that's slightly interesting that it's not an even number of bars in this intro that uses a chord progression that's not in the rest of the song. So verse 1 and 2, the reason I call it 1 and 2 is because there's a repeat, first ending and second ending. That's the first verse, the repeat's the second verse. Super simple, we're in 1. There's a world where I can go in. Now 1 to flat 7. To my secrets to 6. In my 2. Flat 7. 5. Now I'll tell you a little secret. Why does that work so well? They all contain the note C sharp. That is really the common link between. That's why that works right there. So let's go from there. To my secrets to 1, 6. In my 2, flat 7, 5, dominant chord. In my 1, to the flat 7, 1. Take the repeat, nothing different except the lyrics. In this world I look at all my worries in my 1, 6. In my room, 5 dominant. In my room, 1 flat 7, second ending, which is the same as the first. I almost want to say it falls down like this to the next section, but all that really goes down is this organ goes. So many times you go to 6, there's a climb down, but none of the bass does it, none of the chords do it, so I'm not going to mark it there, even though I want to feel it there, but that's not what he does. So from that second ending, it just goes straight down to a very simple bridge. For Brian, he doesn't usually write bridges this simple. Do my dreaming 6-5 scheming 6-5-6-5-1. Change pages. 6 again. Do my crying 5 and my sighing 2. Laugh at yes to 2. Back to verse 3, same thing, just new lyrics. Now it's dark and I'm alone. I want flat 7, 1, 6 in my room, 5. Now it just vamps on that 1 to flat 7 in my room. So I think they just fade out on their version. I said repeat to fade. So that's really simple. Intro, verse 1, verse 2, bridge, verse 3, and then a little tag or outro that just repeats that and fades. Super simple. Last thing I want to show you is just the basic vocal harmonies and how they stack on top of each other. All right, check out this vocal part. I said it was 4 parts, and I think it may have done it like that, but it seems to split down here, so I actually made 5 parts. I'm not 100% sure if they did 4 or 5, but this was the best way I could approximate it. Here are the parts. There's a world where I can't go and tell my secrets to in my room, in my room, in my room. Thanks a lot for watching this video and taking an interest in my channel. Please help me reach a larger audience by hitting subscribe below and ringing the notification bell. Check out my video playlist page to find the categories that most interest you. Leave me a super thanks here on YouTube, and even better, come join my Patreon. Please consider buying music for my original projects I.S.S. and High Castle Teleorchestra. Also, don't forget to sign up for my email list on the front page of timsmolens.com. You can find information about all of those things in the description below. Thanks again.